Is the plant spacing on the back of the seed packet correct for raised beds? This is Darryl, Louisiana Simple Living. So last week's video, we talked about the plant spacing and how critical that is to your having a bountiful harvest from your plants. Where you look at plant spacing or seed spacing, you usually look at the back of the seed packet, but that spacing is typically, when it talks about 4 inches apart, it's typically talking about conventional rows. With raised beds, we take a little different approach. That's what we're going to talk about today, and then I'm going to show you another tool that you can use that'll guarantee you get precise placement of your seeds by type. It's a great tool. We'll cover that as well, so let's get started. So the spacing for conventional rows is different than it would be for raised beds. And there's a couple of reasons why that is the case. So number one is the soil. Not that some traditional rows don't have great soil, but with a raised bed, you know exactly what kind of soil you're going to have, or at least in my case, I use Bell's Mix. I'm the one who put that soil in there, and I'm the one who amends it each season, or at least annually. So I'm guaranteed I got great soil. And number two is raised bed gardening. You shouldn't have the raised bed wider than 4 foot. Okay, so if it's wider than 4 foot, there are areas in the middle that's going to be very difficult to get to and to reach. But with a raised bed, as long as that width is 4 foot, you can reach in every single inch of that raised bed. So you can plant not thinking in a horizontal line, but you can think within a square foot. What kind of seeds, how many seeds can you plant or sow within a square foot? So kind of if you think about it, if you're using the spacing on the back of the seed packet, you're forfeiting a little bit of that harvest, the space that you have to have plants. So you get a much more bountiful harvest by thinking not in a row, but in your square foot, and what all can you actually get within that square foot. The caveat again is that your rows are no wider than 4 foot, and the soil you have in there is excellent soil. And so what I'm talking about with the tools, so again, if you look on the back of the seed packet, it's going to tell you the spacing it recommends. That's really for rows. What I'm talking about is being able to use kind of a square foot garden approach of spacing, and there are some precise ways that they go about doing that. And for example, like I said, you got beans, so you got it's recommended 4 inches apart, but you can actually go 9 bean plants within a square foot, and I'll kind of go through a few of those examples. But one thing I found was this really cool tool called a seeding square, and what it does, it's actually laid out into 1 square foot. It's color coded by those categories of whether you can plant 16 in a square foot, 9 in a square foot, 4 in a square foot, or that 1 in a square foot. So it's got holes set up for that, and you actually put the seeding square into the soil or on the soil. You tamp it down a little bit so you see the outline. And what's cool about that is you don't have to put, a lot of people square foot gardening, they'll use a string, kind of a rope thing where you have it set up in a grid system. You don't have to do that with this tool. All you gotta do is you can stamp it out each square foot, and then when you go to plant, it has a little pointer that you stick in. It dimples the soil to where you're going to put the seeds. Then you actually just drop in the seed. If it's smaller, you got a little funnel thing that's on there. Pretty cool. So pretty easy tool to use for a beginner, especially if you're new to raised beds, you're new to square foot gardening. Definitely something you want to consider, and I'll put a link down below for you to pick that up. Hey, if you like this content, do me a favor, subscribe, like that video, and feel free to share it. Now let's get back to the seed spacing video. So that's your seeding square. Let's go ahead and take it out. All right, so there's not a whole lot to it, right? So it's just this plastic piece here. It has this little, I guess this is a device to kind of show you how deep to plant them. Okay, it comes with a planting guide. So as I kind of talked about beans, where the polar bush, you get 9 within a square foot. So you have this different color coding system. So 9, you would basically put this over the soil, and you can press it in the proper depth. So let's go try this out. Now what you got to do is go ahead and, now we got our seeding square. It has this little funnel on it at the bottom too. So what you want to do is press it firmly in. Okay, you can pull it out. You can see it leaves a nice square. I'm going to do another one right next to it. Now, according to the chart, we go to beets. small or 16. I'm gonna say these are gonna be large, so do 9. So we've got yellow. Do some Detroit dark red. So all we gotta do is poke that thing in. And we'll just drop seeds into the yellow spot where I just put little holes. Easy as can be. Now I know I got these planted exactly the distance apart that they need to be. I got 9 in each in each square foot. So that's all of them. I think I got that one, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this lettuce like a head lettuce, there's 4 per square foot. So we use the blue, focus our little hole. I'm gonna do some butter crunch. So we know our spacing is perfect. So as you can tell, I got the 4 holes here and the 9 holes here. Now all I gotta do is smooth the, put a little bit of soil over the top of them, and then things are good to go. No more guesswork, no more sticking your fingers in and just kind of hoping for the best. And now is the time to go ahead and sow seeds out in our garden. You got to look at your plant spacing. It's critical. You understand the impact that has on having a bountiful harvest or not. You can look at the back of the seed packet. It gives you a width, but it's kind of based on conventional rows. You can take a look at square foot gardening and raised beds, where you're taking advantage of the entire bed and the entire each square foot and how many plants you can plant within that square foot. So I also covered a tool that you can use to actually ensure you're precise in the way that you are sowing your seeds. If you like this content, do me a favor. There's a spring garden planting checklist I'll put down below, link down below. It's going to be excellent. It'll help you have a successful, bountiful harvest here in the spring. Go ahead and subscribe, like that video, and feel free to share it. And as always, I will see you on the next video.